3 months have passed. That means my focus box needs to be, first of all, talked about how much progress I made, and second of all, needs to be refilled because I will exchange a lot. But honestly, I emptied so many products. I think I never emptied so much before, like in the span of 3 months. So let's tackle this. The lip of today, I want to skip because the lipstick is part of that box. So please be patient. We will talk about this. I also have here my little notes because I wrote everything down. So what I do is I just grab here my sheet and then I talk about it. Let's start with the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. The goal for this is to use up until the end of 2024. And this is my current status. I will put up a photo here from the last video, how it looked like. But honestly, I haven't checked back in the video yet. I personally think that I made a good progress. I just hope that my editing future me will not be embarrassed. But in total now, since I added this, I used that bronzer 79 times. Unfortunately, I made a mistake when measuring the weight. So I don't know what was wrong. Maybe there was something on the scale or so, but I just misweighted it. So I have to start all over again, and I will tell you the like progress in weight with the next update again. I still like this, and honestly, if I am able to finish this by the end of the year, this will be one of my biggest makeup accomplishments of 2024. In the OG video, I mentioned the Chanel Waterfresh tint, but honestly, after 6 uses, I actually realized how much I hate this foundation. I wanted to force myself to use it more, to fall in love with it, since we were heading into summer, but I hated it. I hated it so much that I decluttered it after 6 uses, but I replaced it without telling you. I replaced it with the Clé de Peau translucent powder. So it was added in the first 2 weeks of March actually. And since I added this powder, I actually used it 43 times, and in this time I used up 8.27 grams of product. You can remove the net here, but I can also see through the net, and there is actually not a lot left in here. So that's why, together with the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, that actually goes back into the box because this one I also want to use up completely. The Milk Makeup Sculpt Stick? Yeah, Sculpt Stick in the shade Toasted. I actually realized it's good, but the smell puts me off so much. Sorry, I don't want to have this in my collection anymore. So in those 3 months that I had it in here, I used it 49 times, which is quite a lot. Fine, nearly half of it. No, more than half of the days. But in those 49 times, I used up 0.82 grams. So that is not a lot, but honestly, this now gets decluttered. I now try to throw this 2 times into my plastic trash bag, and both times I missed. Oh, this is so sad. This is the Pat McGrath liquid eyeshadow in the shade Cosmic Chartreuse, and honestly, in the 3 months, I used it only 5 times. My goal was to incorporate it with my chopping block palettes, but the chopping block palettes in the past quarter of the year, they kind of got neglected because I just didn't want to use them. And if you remember, I said I will not force myself into these. Maybe I use them, maybe not. At the moment, I'm fine with them just sitting there. So I forced myself to use this one 5 times. I like it, it's fine. It gets back into my collection, and in those 5 times I used up 0.14 grams. This comes with 6.1 mils, so you can do the math how long it will probably take to use up a liquid eyeshadow like this. But this goes back into my collection. Let me grab the next one. Let's celebrate the Clé de Peau Stick Concealer. This came into this box actually in the beginning of the year, and since that I used it 122 times, and I'm proud to tell you this is empty. There is still a tad bit left. You know, there's always like this half a centimeter or maybe 4 millimeter, whatever, of product inside that component. I will not make myself the hassle and like scrape it out. I call this empty. Will I repurchase this? Absolutely not. Because the thing just is that with the shade 1N that this is, where's the sticker? The stick. Oh no, the sticker is at the side, not at the bottom. Oh my god. It's one ivory. It's way too dark. It was hard enough to use as spot concealer on the face, but I was so consistent and used it every single day. But now it's empty. You can go into the trash. You know what? I call this done. The Dior lip oil in the shade pink. I added this in this rotation and I used it 35 times. I even took out the stopper. It is all goopy and gloppy because I can now not pull out anything clean anymore. So this also, have a nice day in the trash. Another success. This is the iconic London Underglow Blurring Primer. It looks a bit too because there is something sticking in here. This was very easy to use up. I added this in this rotation and I used it 24 times before it was empty. There is technically still a bit like floating around here, but honestly, it is so hard to get out. And if I pour it out, I just spill everything because it is quite liquid. I like this. I think this is a beautiful underpainting glow primer. You can also use it on its own. It looks absolutely beautiful. It looks a bit like Hollywood Flawless Filter, but actually not as glowy, to be honest. Very, very good product. Will I repurchase this right now? Absolutely not. I do have a lot of these products, actually. My Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk liner I used 45 times, which is quite a lot. And look at this small little bitch. Honestly, I call this empty by now. There is still a bit left. There is still a bit I could sharpen off and use, but I'm fed up. I don't want to see this anymore. I don't want to use this anymore. I think I got very, very good use out of it. Will I repurchase this? No. Do I like this? Yes, I think it's a very universally flattering shade. So for me, good recommendation, but just nothing I need right now. And last but not least, the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm in the shade Universal. This is completely empty. When I added it into the basket, it was already half empty. And it took me 14 more uses to use up. Be careful, this is not a full-size primer. This comes with 18 grams only, so it's not a lot. It's quite easy to use up, and honestly, I do have a backup. When this was empty, I bought I bought a backup because I just want to have this in my collection. It is one of the best primers out there, honestly. I love this so much. If you haven't tried this, I for sure recommend it. I personally do have more normal skin. I don't know how it works on very dry skin. Now let's talk, or did I forget something? No, I didn't. No, that's everything. So let's talk about the new items. As I said, the Clé de Peau powder and the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer will go back into the box because I want to keep on using them. And I'm adding 2 primers this time. Technically 3, well, maybe 2 primers and a highlighter. Okay, let's talk about them. First one is the Rare Beauty Pore Diffusing Primer. This I opened up fairly new. It is just the mini version. This is one that is going to be super duper easy to use up. And I like to put something like this in my box just for rewarding purposes because I just love the accomplishment. I already made a little like mark here to just track the usage over the month. But honestly, if I keep on using this in July, I'm pretty sure that this will be empty before the end of July. And since this is so easy to empty, I also added a primer that I have, I think now for 2 years, 3 years. It looks actually a bit disgusting, so let me just very quickly clean it off. But honestly, for the sake of my life, this cannot look good because of its packaging. Everything is sticking here. This is the big 60 ml version of the Hourglass Mineral Veil. Remember Mineral Veil? Oh, years ago. Big YouTube times. This was the thing. Everybody wanted to have this, but it is so fucking expensive. They were looking for dupes. NYX Angel Veil. Is this still a thing? I don't know. This one I love. And the thing is, you cannot look inside here, but I assume that I am somewhat down to here. My goal is to use this up actually. But once I cannot squeeze out things, I will not cut this open. This is so old at this point. No, you can go. If I don't use it up by the end of the 3 month, I will definitely toss it. So no matter what's happening, this will go by the end of the 3 month. I just want to get as much use out of it as possible. I want to use up the Lisa Aldridge Seamless Skin Elevated Glow thing. This is not a mini, this is the full size. Honestly, to me, this is a bit shocking that this costs so much money and only comes with 15 ml of product. I already made my mark and this is quite easy to use up, I think. This comes with a doe foot and you know I use stuff like this as glow always. By the way, please ignore my hand, that looks quite hurtful at the moment. This is like, I don't know, when it's warm and sunny I get these little things here. It is nice, it looks glowy, but it is not my favorite actually, so this will not be repurchased. I want to use it up, get the most use out of it. If this by the end of 3 months is also not completely empty, I can live with tossing it actually. One of the few Lisa Aldridge items that is not blowing me away. I have 2 cheek products now, 2 for this box, aside from the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. I'm also adding the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in the shade Light. I love this stuff so much, but I just do not use it enough. So I'm putting this in my focus box and I do have a goal. I want to hit pan. That's actually my goal. If I can hit pan and maybe even have a bigger pan, I'm happy with this after 3 months. I also will add a highlight. This is the ColourPop Flexitarian highlight. This already has a pan and my goal is just to expand the pan a bit more. And last but not least, the thing that I'm wearing on my lips, the Givenchy La Rouge Interdit Balm in the shade 10. I have used up quite a bit of this. I don't know if you can see here inside. It's not a lot left, but I wanted to add a lip product that I naturally would grab at the moment. End of the Dior lip oil was super hard because this was just not what I was lusting for. This is something I'm lusting for. This is something I can reapply whole day in my office. And honestly, this just looks so good, so flattering. I love this. I think it's a beautiful black turning into pink lipstick. Do I have a goal? I don't know. Is it possible to use this amount of lipstick up in 3 months? I don't know. Let's do a challenge. I want to try to use this up in this rotation. So that is it. Tell me please, do you have a focus box like me too that you maybe rotate through quarterly? If so, what products are you adding in this rotation? And if not, maybe tell me what's your favorite product out of my box. Let me please know down below. If you don't know, don't want to comment, or just don't have an idea, comment black lipstick. So thank you as always, and I'll see you in the next one.